Hey, this is Adam Carolla. I am part of a huge podcast that is heard by gazillions of people because my face is all over iTunes and Stitcher. But the fact of the matter is, you should really be listening and promoting podcasts that are independently done, like by Mike Matthews. You should do that instead of listening to these big network podcasts that feature big-name people on them. Who gives a rat's patoot about that? Yes, I'm not cussing, which is very unlike me, because I'm Adam Carolla. Now, Mike's Daily Podcast, which is so small compared to my show.
This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 835. Hello, this is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, D. Edward and Jenna Lavoie, two Bay Area singer-songwriters whom I speak to live from a coffeehouse in San Francisco on the segment Mike on Mobile. Plus, we hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, and chameleons.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They're weird, right? How do they change color? Why do I have that Culture Club song in my head? Karma, 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 chameleons.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, so that it guy right now is Chris Hemsworth. Good thing no one remembers that racing movie that Ron Howard tried to make work. That bombed almost as bad as that Vince Vaughn film where he showed his trademark smirk, but he doesn't have Chris's arms that barely stay in his shirt. That's really so unfortunate that Chris Hemsworth has that problem.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
He was funny on Saturday Night Live, and I was slayed by Kate McKinnon.
Mike's
She killed me
Daily
in her first 3
Podcast.
skits, and then you see him and you go, damn you, you overly talented, overly buff male specimen. Chris Hemsworth is what I want to call him. Look who just walked in. Hello, my name is this is Madame Rootabega, and Chris Hemsworth is so hot. Woo. Yeah, he's kind of, like I said, sexy, smell alive, and all that crap. And it's very difficult to find a rhyming word with chameleon. That's rapskillion. Okay, that's kind of like a word, but thank you, Madame Rootabega. No problem. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? What's wrong, Bison Bentley? You don't sound like yourself, which I kind of like, actually, but... Mike, I don't know. I don't really feel happy because I keep comparing myself to Chris Hemsworth. And I can't compare to that guy. He's tall. He's Australian. Do you know that? He is Australian. That's true. Right. So that kind of makes it doubly hard. Because you get that Australian accent and, like, you put it on a woman and she's instantly like, oh, wow.
I know, Mike. That movie, Muriel's Wedding, just drives me nuts. With all the Australian chicks.
It's a very depressing movie, but... Well, I'm just happy that you're listening to today's podcast because there's so much to get to. First off, chameleons.
Mike, if I want to repeal Obamacare, am I a repealian?
There we go. We have a rhyme. Yeah, so chameleons, they've discovered what makes them do that weird thing where they change their color. A collaboration of scientists within the sections of biology and physics of the Faculty of Science from the University of Geneva, or UNIJ, in Switzerland. They unveiled the mechanisms that regulate this phenomenon. The change takes place via the active tuning of a lattice of nanocrystals present in a superficial layer of dermal cells called iridophores. I know, it's like I'm making this shit up, but I'm not. It's right there on the website laboratoryequipment.com. So you know it's true. The researchers also revealed the existence of a deeper population of iridophores iridophores with a larger and less ordered crystals that reflect the infrared light. Wait, they're from Switzerland. They don't sound like they're from Sweden. Sorry for my myopic view of the world. The scientists also demonstrated the existence of a second, deeper layer of iridophores. They say that these cells, which contain larger and less ordered crystals, reflect a substantial proportion of the infrared wavelengths. This forms an excellent protection against the thermal effects of high exposure to sun radiations in low latitude regions. The organization of iridophores in two superimposed layers constitutes an evolutionary novelty. It allows the chameleons to rapidly shift between efficient camouflage and spectacular display while providing passive thermal protection. When they do go into spectacular display, then they can put on a show in Las Vegas and they get a free buffet. Let's hear it for free buffets. What do you think of iridophores and rapelians and chameleons and Chris Hemsworth? And did you see his appearance on Saturday Night Live? Did you laugh? Apparently, I only watch it on Hulu. And when a guest is doing a really good job, they knock out. They don't show the musical guest on Hulu. But if they are sucking, then they leave the musical guest in. Which I think they should. It was the Zac Brown Band, which is a country band that I like. They have a song, Goodbye in Our Eyes, that just kills me. It is such a real, true song about when you're breaking up with someone in a way that it's not sappy or syrupy, but it's true and real. That's my
Mike's absolutely useless review.
But enough about Saturday Night Live. What about the last show of Mike's Daily Podcast? Benita, the rodeo queen, she was watching Saved by the Bell because she apparently is entranced by Tiffany Amber Thiessen. That happened on the last show. Madame Rootabega, what do you think about her? Michael Matthews, she was wonderful. She looked good in pink. You mean she looked pretty in pink, but she wasn't in that movie? No, Michael Matthews. But she was in Beverly Hills 90210. I think she was, right. Very perceptive. I watch lots of TV. And what do you think about all that? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And there's the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there and you can find all kinds of interesting things like where to listen to this show in iTunes. Rate this show in iTunes. You can comment on the show, rank the show. If you do that, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. Adam Carolla doesn't have that problem, but then again, half the world hates him. He's got some movie. And so here's the thing. It's like for years, Woody Allen, critics have made note of how he writes about his life, about writes about what he knows. Adam Carolla did the exact same thing. Only, I mean, he really just basically put his life up on the movie screen. He talks about like his jealousy with Jimmy Kimmel, only in the movie it's Jay Moore. Because Jay Moore, his character goes on to have a big talk show on TV, late night talk show. And Adam Carolla is basically playing himself in this movie. So at any rate, he's got a really successful podcast, which you shouldn't listen to his podcast because he's already made it big. You should listen to the independent podcasters, the ones that are still doing it in obscurity. They have, a fresh perspective on things. Not every podcast you listen to has to come from NPR or Ira Glass or the Nerdist Network or the ESPN Network or Kevin Smith's network. Listen to the independent podcasters because they're very interesting. And they could use your support. Also, you can listen to this podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Stitcher. We're on the TuneIn radio app for your smartphone. We're on Player FM. and we are on YouTube. And you can tell your friends about this show through Facebook. Like the Facebook page when I post a new show. Share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us. You can also follow us on Twitter and retweet us when we post a new show. You can also find us on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. All those links at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, as well as the Amazon link. If you're going to buy anything through Amazon, go to Mike's Daily Podcast first and click on that Amazon link, and that helps us out, gives us some support. And you can find the blog, the Daily Podcast picture, all my past interviews. They're all there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And speaking of interviews...
Mike on Mobile.
It's Mike Matthews with Mike on Mobile, and I'm sitting across from an amazing sandwich. That was, what was on that sandwich?
That was a po' boy, Chipotle po' boy.
Ooh.
So it was really good. That means there's a Chipotle thing in there.
Is it pork?
It is. I don't know. It's Chipotle pork? No, I don't know. It's a sausage of some sort, but
yeah, it's got it looked like a spicy sausage, and then there's a great salad, and we're at Vinyl Coffee and Wine Bar, right? And
is there wine here? Oh. It's a little early, but I might do that. But I'm also having a Chipotle po' boy with a latte because they go together so well.
Right.
Yeah, I'm totally with coffee and hard espresso drinks. I feel so European when I do that.
Oh, European, yeah. I'm starting to fit, and we're at Vinyl, and it's like totally old school, so it's very San Francisco European-ish. Thanks, Jenna, for suggesting.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
We're right here at Vinyl Coffee we're in the hate area, right? Or love area?
Hate, yeah. Hate like love. It's complicated area. It's kind of Diviz area. It's a good spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Divisadero.
Yes.
We're on, and I'm sitting across from D. Edward and Jenna Lavoie.
Lavoie, yeah, Lavoie.
And you two sing on a song called "Show Me." And it's I'm going to play it in just a moment, but this is cool because I've done a Mike on Mobile from someone's recording studio in Berkeley once, but this is interesting. We got people here, food, and paintings. Okay, and so now that I've described the scene, I've set the setting. Tell me, D. Edward, how did you guys meet up, and how did this song come about?
Oh, how did we meet up? We met up at a Grammy event last year. So we're members of the San Francisco Recording Academy, which is Recording Academy,
yeah.
The San Francisco chapter of the Recording Academy, which is like the Grammy organization. They're the ones that give away the Grammys. And so every year they have a party for all the nominees from the chapter, right? And so Jenna was there last year, and I don't know how I started talking to her. Probably because she was cute and I was trying to hit on her. I'm pretty sure that's how it started. And then she found out.
Pretty blue eyes. We were talking about mint condition before. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you do have blue eyes, kind of, sort of.
They're blue.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of.
I did notice that. So that's how we met. And so I found out she was a singer-songwriter, and we were kind of showing up at the same events, and it just kind of grew from there, and then our friendship grew. And then I started working on my new album. Well, actually, so I've been working on my new album. It took 2 years, so I was already well entrenched into the album.
And that would be the album Love Is.
That's right, Love Is, because love is life.
Is that the story behind it?
No,
I know it's a song on your album, but let's get all philosophical.
No, that's absolutely not the story. Well, yeah, love is life, but love is love is a leap of faith. If you look at the album, it's just me walking off a 4-story building.
Yeah, the album covers. Got you. How did you do that without dying?
There's a rope that's photoshopped out of it.
Oh.
But that's actually me walking off a 4-story building at Van Ness and Jackson.
Real.
And yeah, there was a harness and a rope that was connected to me.
You learned how to fly that day.
Oh, actually, so I have a fear of heights too, and so when we were doing it, the photographer I was like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. I'm really scared. And he's like, I'm really good at, his name is Daniel Garcia. He's like, I'm really good at Photoshop, but, I try to do things as analog as possible. So, if you can't do it, I can always Photoshop it, but, it'd be better if you at least tried. So I was like, all right. He's like, well, maybe we can get a harness, like a rock climbing harness and a rope. I'm like, yeah, let's do that, because I don't want to die. And so, yeah, we did it. That's how that whole album cover shot happened.
How did you find that guy?
I found him. So I'm part of this group called the Balanced Breakfast.
You're part of a lot of groups. You're not part of the Illuminati or the Freemasons, are you?
Not yet, but I'm talking to Jay-Z about that. No, so Balanced Breakfast is this local music meetup. That actually Jenna is the one that introduced me to that. She was in it before I was. She recruited me. She's like the Beyonce of the Illuminati.
Just getting weird. What's that?
Beyonce of the Illuminati.
I think I'll take that. I don't know, the Beyonce part. I'm okay with that.
I'm going to tag this podcast with Beyonce of the Illuminati and see if anyone. I'm going to get some interesting people looking at my blog and podcast.
We're all going to get some new fans.
Yeah.
Some creepers. No.
We are going to. Well, that's a little scary a little bit, but I will take any new fans if you want. Come on.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're part of this group called the Balanced Breakfast. It's a local music meetup that it was formed to kind of like boost the local music community and kind of give us musicians a sense of community, which a lot of us don't have. And so that's kind of what happened. And so there was a woman. Her name is Lila Rose, and she came to this one meeting. And Lila's pretty big herself, right? And I happened to ask the question, does anybody know like graphic designer, photographer? And she's like, yes. And it happened to be her boyfriend, who also did her album cover and website. She's like, yes, his name is Daniel Garcia. And so that's how it happened. And so when I went to the website, his website that he had done for her, I mean, he was an artist. The stuff he was doing was just phenomenal artwork. But set in a package of a music website. And I was like, that's the guy right there. So, yeah.
I'll have to check his stuff out. Now, the song Show Me, so it's really sultry, kind of a smooth jazz jam type thing. Wait, am I saying the right words? Is it it's not a joint, is it?
It's a joint? Oh, well, if you have one, I'd say light it up. But it can be a joint. Yeah.
It's a slow jam. It's an R&B. I always describe it as kind of like an old school. It's got kind of like an old school 90s feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I call it like it's a kind of a tribute to the old school R&B with a modern twist in the beat in the music. Now, my friend Greg Bridges on KPFA radio, he calls it a red light grinder.
Oh, I like that. Oh man, I wonder if they serve that drink here. I'd like a red light grinder. That'd be a good name for a coffee.
When you order it, Dale and I come out singing.
That's right. That's right. Show me.
Will you know that I love you, baby?
Yes, that's all part of the red light grinder, folks.
You guys, it's a really soulful tune. And what was it like recording it and then filming that steamy video in black and white with all the dust on your microphone?
Oh, that's good you picked up on the dust.
Everybody loves the dust. They love the dust. It wasn't even planned that.
Oh, well, just for the record, it was planned? No.
That dust is really sexy.
What? Yeah.
No, so the way the song came about, the way Jenna came about, I had the song kind of not done, but musically I did all the music for it, and I had most of the vocals, and I wanted a duet on the album, and so I actually had someone else who was going to do it, but she didn't quite work out, and she's phenomenal, but she just didn't quite work out time-wise, and so Jenna was like, I'd love to have the opportunity to do it, and I'm like, okay, let's see. So you hear Jenna, and that's a whole different person than the Jenna that I knew, because Jenna is actually this ukulele playing pop singer, And she's fantastic, right? But I didn't think that she would work for this like sultry soul song, and I didn't really think about it. And then so she's like, "Yeah, I would love to have the opportunity."
I can do this.
Ukuleles are soulful.
Ukuleles are so soulful. I'm mainly a vocalist, so I mean that's what I do, and I can sing. I grew up listening to R&B. I mean that's what I wasn't educated on, you know, the Stones or Dylan or Zeppelin or any of that. I was like, you know, let's listen to some Lauryn Hill and some Mary J. Blige, and you know, and so I could sing like all that stuff, Alicia Keys, but I write a little differently, and I'm still writing to my voice, and it's all different. But when he said he had Show Me, and he had the second verse sort of open, blank. I don't know. You want to continue?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, so she was like, give me the opportunity. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I was like, well, I kind of want to wait for this other person to finish. And I was like, you know what, just take it. Let's see what you can do. And then, so it was like a week later, and she's like, yeah, I got something. And then, so we were at my studio. I said, okay, well, let's hear what you got. I really wasn't expecting a whole lot. And then she sang exactly what you hear on the record. And I was like, oh, wait. And I turned on the studio. I'm like, let me turn everything on. Let's record this right now.
Yeah, we did it right there.
That's exactly what
it was. Awesome. Yeah, I it was pretty cool because I wasn't sure. I guess, I mean, Dale does all of his own stuff. Sorry, D. Edward.
Who's Dale? I don't know who that is.
Sorry.
D. Edward.
Scratch that. D. Edward. He does all of his own stuff, and you know, writes everything, and he pretty much recorded everything on the record. So I wasn't sure if he wanted me to do any writing, you know. And he was like, you know what, go for it. You know, let's see what you got. So I wrote the words and heard a melody just for the second verse and like some freestyle stuff at the end, but. When I came in, and it was awesome. I mean, it was
phenomenal. I mean, what she did was just incredible. I was like, yeah, we need to record this right now. And that's basically pretty much like one or two takes. And
yeah.
Jenna just like, she makes the song, I think.
Wow, that's cool. So it's like a collaboration, and then filming the video, you've got your cool hat and you've got your cool thing. How did that come about?
So, okay, this is actually super cool. So the director, Jared Swanson, and actually Danielle Garcia was a part of it as well for video production and photos. I don't know what all the labels
Daniel, they're you know, I really call them co-directors, but Jared kind of took the lead on this video. They both worked on my last video, Love Is, and so this time, the story and the look of our look, that kind of 40s film noir thing, that was kind of Jared's taking. The two words I said to both of them was, how about let's do a film noir thing? And Jared was like, yeah, right. And so that's how that whole came about. But the whole look of it, if you look at the lighting and the actual cinematography, that's Danielle. And so it's really a collaboration on both of those guys.
Right. It was pretty amazing. So I had a stylist go with me. We were looking for 40s themed outfits. You know, we went to vintage stores. We went to the Haight. And we stopped in this place called Relic Vintage, and we hit the jackpot because this guy that owns it, he's actually he's helped style people for videos and stuff like that too. So Patty Silverman, my stylist, she was incredible, and him and this guy Oren at Relic, the two of them together, they just dressed me. They literally dressed me and undressed me. It was just, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to zip anything up, but he put the whole outfit together, and it was so cool. The shoes, the hat, the belt, the dress, the gloves, everything that I wore is 100% original, 100% vintage, the real deal. Yeah,
40s,
from the 40s.
And I would just say this about trying to style someone from the 40s, which is like 60 years ago or 70 years ago. It's not that easy to find old clothes from the 40s.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, but I mean, I had a little more luck because the guy at Relic Vintage, he was like, your body type is perfect because I'm small, so he's like, there's a lot, there's no give in these clothes. It's not like, there's no jeggings, there's nothing stretchy about any of it, so you have to fit to it, and he actually had to alter it a little bit to make it smaller, but I don't know, after that I hung out in the store and was like, I think I'm gonna start wearing 40s clothes all the time because it's just so rad. But really cool.
Well, check out the video and see Jenna in her amazing clothes. I want to be dressed and undressed like that. That sounds like fun.
Right? I asked Oren, I was like, can you, like, this is kind of a creepy question, but can you do this every morning for me? Because I would love to just have someone come in and dress me and undress me and button me up. And
Yeah. Well, let's listen to the song Show Me. You can find it at dedwardmusic.com from his album Love Is. It's D. Edward and Jenna Lavoie on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Nice. I like that joint. That's a fine joint right there as we go outside of the last place on earth where we go live. This place. Cafe Anyway. Located somewhere in Podcastle Valley, California. Smooth. That be D. Edward and Jenna Lavoie. Oh, yeah.
We got part 2 of our Mike on Mobile tomorrow. Another Matthews interviews with them. And more great D. Edward music.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture was actually taken after the interview. The three of us standing there. We had such a fun time. So you can see D. Edward and Jenna Lavoie there. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Michael Master, I wanted to tell you that you three look like you could all be in a movie together. Perhaps it would be a Spike Lee joint. Ah. Well, anything can happen. Hey, you know what? I wanted to say that there's really nothing else to say, so thanks for listening to today's show. And next show is going to be a hit, because we're going to have more D. Edward, Jenna Lavoie, and we'll also hear from Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Do you feel better now, Bison Bentley? I would if you sang a Culture Club song. Do you know that? Time won't give me time, and I guess we're out of time.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!